What is that thing that seems impossible to you? What is that thing that you had prayed for, hoped for, trusted in the Lord for? But now it seems like it is taking forever to get to you. And now you have just said, God, it is okay. I can live without it. God, I am fine. If that shoe fits your leg, then there's a woman in the Bible who was just like you. And her name is Sarah. Sarah was the 89-year-old wife to an 100-year-old or to a 99-year-old husband named Abraham. And throughout their marriage, for I don't know how many years, Sarah's womb was still waiting. She had hoped for a child, prayed for a child, trusted God for a child until she had arrived at a point in her life she was like, God, it is fine, God. I'm okay. I can live without it. I have Ishmael. And one day, as they're just going about the hustle and the bustle of life, unaware they host two angels. And because they're a very hospitable couple, they prepare for them a meal. And just when they're finishing their meal, one of the angels picks up in prophecy and says, next year, at a time like this, Sarah, your wife, shall hold a son in her arms. And Sarah, who at this time is waiting in the wings as she's serving her guest, she laughs. And the laughter is a very controversial laughter. And so when she laughs, one of the angels picks up and says this, and allow me to read verbatim what he says, because it is very important. This is in Genesis 18, verse 13 and 14. And it says this, and the Lord said to Abraham, it was the Lord himself, and the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Saying, surely shall I bear a child since I am old? A few verses before, the Bible records and says that Sarah was beyond childbearing age. What was her impossibility? Just imagine she had been waiting all her life until now she was beyond childbearing age. And this angel says that you shall have a child. It was an impossibility, a cause of laughter, and Sarah laughed. And then he continues and says this, is anything too hard for the Lord? And I just want to pause there and pose that question to you. Because it's the same question that the Lord posed to Sarah at 89-year-old, waiting a whole life for a child. And the Lord says, is there anything too hard for the Lord? What is that thing to you that you have completely given up on? That you're like, God, man. And the interesting thing is that everybody around you will get that thing. And you will wait and pray and fast. And for some people, it seems so easy. Maybe the slaves in her tent were getting 5, 6, 7 children. And Sarah, with so much material wealth, her womb was still waiting. Is there anything too hard for the Lord? Continuing says this, at the appointed time, I will return to you. That is so weird. That there was an appointed time? You mean there is a time that has been appointed for things to happen in your life? For example, you remember when you were young and we used to go and see the dentist? We used to be given an appointment. On this day, you shall come and you shall see the dentist. And here the Lord says that at the appointed time, Sarah shall have a child. That will mean that that thing maybe that you are waiting for, that child that you have been waiting for, that spouse that you are waiting for, that job that you're waiting for, that breakthrough, fill in the blanks that you have been waiting for. Maybe the appointed time has not yet come. Maybe you're going to the dentist before your appointment. Maybe your appointment lies somewhere in the future. What if the thing that you have given up on has a time set on it, and that time is yet to come? Maybe. You never know. I want to skip to a year later, because now at least we have the benefit of the whole story written down. What happened a year later? 3 chapters later, in chapter 21. Let me read what happens. And the Lord, the same Lord who came to her, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said. And the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken. Interesting. That will mean that everything that the Lord has spoken over your life, through his word, through the Bible, everything that the Lord has said over you will come to pass. Nothing will fall to the ground. Everything, every promise, every blessing, everything that the Lord has spoken of your life, over your life will come to pass. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, the impossibility, at the set time of which God had spoken to. Interesting that in just 2 chapters, the aspect of time is repeated. That again there is an appointed time. There's a time that the Lord had spoken. And this time then Abraham and Sarah were able to have a child. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him Isaac. And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. How wonderful is that? And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. Sarah had been waiting maybe for 60 years, waiting for this child. How long I have prayed for this child. And you know what the name Isaac means that I read? I was so mesmerized by it. Isaac was the name God told Abraham to name his son. Many years before that, you shall name your son Isaac, the one who causes laughter, the one who brings me laughter, the one who has made me laugh. And maybe you've been waiting for your Isaac. I don't know what your Isaac is. Maybe your Isaac is a spouse. Maybe your Isaac is a job. Maybe your Isaac is that child who you're waiting for them to give their life to Christ. Maybe Isaac is a breakthrough in your finances. I don't know what your Isaac is. But one thing I know, that all Isaacs bring laughter. And one day, even though you have been crying for so long until you're like, God, I'm okay, God. It's okay. Other guys can have it. It's fine, God. I'll keep on clapping for them. Just imagine how many times she had rejoiced with other women as they held their child, as they brought forth their child. But one day, also her, she caused them to laugh with her. Maybe I'm just that angel God has sent me just to remind you this. Is there anything that is too hard for the Lord? Is there anything that is too hard for the Lord? And I want those words to keep on ringing in your head. Do not give up on God. Your Isaac is coming. Do not give up on God, because the one who has caused you so much pain one day will cause you laughter. And the one that people have laughed at you for, one day they will laugh with you. Let me end this with a story as I finish, just came to mind. I was told an interesting story of one of our friends. They lived in a hood, and they'll see this and they will know it's them, that they were so poor. Guys kept laughing at them. They're like, these guys are cursed, man. These guys, they will never leave the hood. They will never break free. Maybe there's something they did wrong in their future. Maybe that's why. Maybe they stole some money or something. Maybe that's why everything that they did seemed to fail, man. They were poverty by itself. And God, interestingly, is that God, they told us that God told them that now, the people who laughed at you, I will elevate you before them. That one day they will laugh with you. And now everywhere they go, because they're so wealthy, the car they drive, the house they live in, everybody meets them with a smile. And now those who are laughing at them are the ones who are laughing with them. And so I pray that you keep believing, keep hoping. Do not give up on God. I want you to remind you of the words that the Lord said to Abraham and Sarah. Is there anything that is too hard for the Lord? Till next time, guys.